Am I recording? I don't see any time, but I do think I am recording. I also haven't a clue where I should look. I'm thinking over there again, which is also not handy because I like to look at myself, but then ready. So I'm going to look at that lens. You probably thought I wasn't going to be back anymore. It's been a while. But the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks even, I think, I haven't been really feeling all that well. I'm not certain even if it was the energies that were bugging me, or whether it was maybe indeed a bug. At some point it was that bad that I went to the doctors because I was quite concerned about my health. I felt as if I was getting my belly. It was horrible. It was as if I was going to explode. That's what I felt like. I felt bloated, and in the end I actually began to look bloated as well. My trousers got tight and it was really stinking hot and unusually hot. We had heat wave after heat wave after heat wave and no rain for 2.5 months or something. And well, I really didn't feel well, and of course I still have my personal readings, and this week I'm doing my shortcut to love, the bridge as well. So I've been very busy nonetheless, even though I haven't been feeling all that great. But since 2 or 3 days, since the day of the climax, so to speak, of the Lion's Gate, which was the 8th of August, 2 days ago, I suddenly felt better. And my belly feels better. I don't feel bloated anymore. So yeah, I thought it's time to do another reading. So I got the cards, the sets laid out on the table in front of me. You cannot see them. I hope everything is going to work out, because this is the first time I'm doing a recording with my new phone. I have a new phone now. I'm happy with it. That's also why I haven't been online an awful lot, because I had to get used to it, sodding around with the settings and stuff, and also working with new video editing software, also trying to get the hang of that. And all in all, I have been really very busy. Of course, also with my shortcut to love, because I'm really enjoying that. Working with the ladies to help them get empowered, and you know, it's always great. I always love it. Anyhow, this reading of course is on the effects of the solar eclipse. On the 11th we are going to have a full solar eclipse. Maybe in the United States is on the today, I don't know actually. I haven't looked that up, because we have this time difference, right? I'm in Europe, in the Netherlands, and in the United States you can be 5, 6, 7 or 8 hours behind, so to speak, depending on the time zone in the United States. Anyhow, high time to look at the energies of the solar eclipse. Can also be that's why I'm feeling better now, because of these. There's always a build-up, right? It's not like tomorrow or tonight at midnight it's dang, and then they flick a switch and we get these energies. There's always a build-up, and sometimes that's even you can feel that a week beforehand. It depends on what's happening and how sensitive you are. But that's what this reading is about, how it's going to affect you. I have 3 sets of cards, and yeah, I just felt that's enough. In a way, it's like, yeah, maybe 6 is better, or 4 or whatever, but I don't know. I just always, I like 3. I like that number, and somehow it feels okay. So I decided to stick with that. Funny thing is, when I was still shuffling, I'm using the Wildwood Tarot and my Dark Goddess cards, and as you can see, the shine, they are really slippery, and so are the cards from the Wildwood Tarot deck. So they easily fly all over the place when you're shuffling. Yeah, I'm sorry, I am looking at you as far as I'm concerned, you know, but I keep looking there, straight in front of me. I have to look in a lens. For me, it's really counterintuitive. So if it ends up me looking away for you, then I am looking straight ahead. It's odd. Anyhow, I was busy with shuffling and drawing cards, and they flew everywhere. And I picked up some cards, and at some point I noticed one card was still under the table on the floor. And I thought, that's interesting. I'm going to keep that card, because I do think that's actually likely the general energy of this, not just this reading, but this solar eclipse, I think, for most of us then, I guess. Concerning what you do not want to face, what you try to keep hidden, what you try to keep under the table, because it was literally under the table. And I had already shuffled the cards again, and so this couldn't have turned up for set number 2 or 3, because it was under the table then. And I thought, well, that means something. Yeah. And that is the 10 of Bows responsibility card. The responsibility. And that is about, well, in a way you're carrying a heavy load, but it's also, the message of this card is also to, you have to take responsibility for yourself, your life, what you're busy with. And I think that message is important for most every one of us in various ways. It can be that you have to take more responsibility, that you're sitting on your ass too much, right? Like, for instance, you want something, you want to manifest something, you want something to happen in your life, but you are not taking action, you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there and basically maybe even being just sulking, maybe being angry, maybe being sad, or maybe being desperate that it isn't coming, that it isn't happening. Well, then the message is, in that case, this is just an example, right? Then the message in that case would be, you have to take responsibility for that. If you want something to happen in your life, you have to take action. And yeah, you have to take responsibility for your life, for your happiness, for what's going on in your life. Also, if maybe for other people, if something in your life isn't pleasant, doesn't serve you anymore, or maybe never did, then you can just leave that in your life. That person, situation, can be anything, and then just feel unhappy and get more unhappy over the years, months, whatever. And maybe complain about it, and but then you also must take responsibility. You always have a choice. You can change things. When you take action, you can choose to change things. You can leave a situation, you can find another job, you can leave a relationship, you can address issues in a relationship, whatever it's about. I'm just giving you a few examples so it makes it easier to relate to what it can mean. And it doesn't mean to say that it is going to be easy when you take responsibility. It feels like a heavy load, right? Like that load on his back. But it likely will still be for your higher good, for your best interest. Because once you get on top of that mountain, where the community is, where life is, and everything is going on, everything is happening, there's fire there, there's people there, shelter, and then you're part of that. That's the goal, that's where you want to be. And you have to be willing to put in the effort to, that's also taking responsibility for your own happiness. So I do feel, because of the way that happened, it's that this goes for most every one of us, and you are trying to not see that. You're trying to not see that you have to take responsibility, because you want to keep it under the table. You want to keep it hidden. You don't want to face it. It was really literally underneath the table on the rug. Right? So I feel this is the general message. Then for the reading itself, also before I get into that, I'm gonna let you choose now. I'm gonna show you thingy so you can choose. But I haven't a clue with my new camera how long a video I can record. So it can also be that it cuts off when it gets to 4 gigabytes, like my old phone used to do. I haven't a clue. I'm just gonna find out as we go. I hope I can. I always want to have it done in one recording, but if it if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I always put if it does turn out to be 2 videos, a part 2, then I always put a card in the end of this first video that you can click on, that will directly take you to part 2. It will show up during the last 20 seconds of this video, right? So now you know that. For the numbers 1, I have to now completely get back into this again as well. After I've done the cards, then I'm completely into it, and some of these messages are really like, wow, I got goosebumps a number of times, right? But then I'm talking, and then I'm more in my head a bit, of course. So I have to get back into it. For numbers 1, you can choose this little Buddha, or you can choose this one. Let's see if you can. A meditating Buddha, purple meditating Buddha. And for the numbers 3, it's one that you can hang up. It's also a little Buddha. It's this one, this little fella. So then you can make your choice. I'm sorry, I cannot show them to you all in one go. I'm trying to. It's not really helpful, I don't think. So this one is 1 and the purple one is 2, or that one for numbers 3. Righty. Then I'm going to start the reading for the numbers 1, the people who chose this happy little fella. Righty. Then I have 4 cards from the Wildwood Tarot deck. We have Joy and the Star and the Moon, and then we have the Kingfisher. This is the King of Arrows, which is the King of Swords in default tarot. I'm not going to translate these names anymore, actually, because this tarot deck is just different. I do feel with the Joy card, with the cranes, this one, like you are actually in quite a good place. You're feeling quite good, I think. But because there's this joy, there's like this community, happiness and togetherness with other people. But I do feel that you are this crane, the one in the middle who's rising above the others. And that makes me feel that you're longing to find something else, another group, like another tribe that can be relating to people, can also be pertain to a situation or a hobby or anything. You know, it can be big, can be small. I do think it's going to be rather big because this solar eclipse is going to be quite powerful. But you want to rise above some situation, and that situation or a group of people, and that situation isn't bad. It's quite nice. It's quite comfortable, it's fun, it's good, it's happy, it's joyful. But somehow you have a longing for more. And this doesn't seem to fulfill you so much anymore. Even though it's good, even though it's fun, and even though it's pleasant. You want more. There is a craving for more. And that's with the star. You want to follow that inner calling. This star is also guiding you. It's the polar star. I feel it's quite a deep inner calling that you're feeling, and then if that's the case, then you likely have been feeling that for quite some time, and that's going to rise up really intensely, more powerful with this solar eclipse, I feel. And you want to follow that. That's why you're rising above this situation or this group of people And this can be temporary, all right? This can be temporary, that you're temporarily withdrawing to go through that process. And it is quite a process. You're going through that, what you call that? A tunnel? I'm not certain how to call that in these woods. And it's quite a purging. But it's not unpleasant. It's not unpleasant. But you cannot go through that tunnel if you're still in this situation. You have to, at least for now, rise above that, leave that for now at least. Otherwise you can't go through there. You have to go through there on your own, in a way. And that's an inner process. And you're being guided. There's light there, right? It's lit up. It's properly lit up. It's not scary or anything. And it's properly lit up by that guiding star, by the pole star, sorry. And it's as if it's joyful. This process is also, in that sense, joyful. It's deep. It's really deep. That's also what we get with the moon in a minute. But I do feel it's long, as if it's long overdue for you to do this. Because it's as if even the universe is celebrating that you are now taking this journey. These stars, they're moving, and that makes me feel as if even the universe is now dancing around, jumping for joy that you are now, going on that journey. That makes me feel that it's, in a way, long overdue. And maybe the timing wasn't right before, maybe you weren't ready before, because you do have to just leave this behind, whatever that is, at least for now. Otherwise you can't do that process. So while you're going through this process, you have to leave that, rise above that. And then I also feel that the stars are moving around. That's also to do with the I don't know how you pronounce that in English. The meteorites, this meteorite shower that we always have in August each year. Perseids, I don't know how you say that in English. The Perseiden is what we call it in Dutch. We always have that each year. And I can't remember from the top of my head. I do think that's always around the 11th of August as well. And then it goes on for about a week. So it could start around the same time as the solar eclipse, that you can see these meteorites in the sky at night, and that lasts for about a week. And then there is always 1 or 2 days that when you can see most of them when they're, so you can look that up online, because I do feel that this is to do with that as well. These meteorites, to do with that process, so the timing of you going through that process, or it might enhance that process somehow. Yeah, it doesn't come up for for no reason. Also the moon, this to me says that this is indeed a very deep process. It's about something that has been bubbling inside of you for quite some time, that wants to come out, something you really want to. Well, it's like turning from a caterpillar into a butterfly, almost, like a huge transformation. Something you've been yearning for quite some time. Your soul's been calling for this. With that egg as well, the primordial egg in here in the water. And this is quite a deep card. So this is going to be quite a process for you, quite deep. Can also be quite intense. I still don't think it's going to be bad in a way, although it could get a bit emotional with the moon. It could get a bit emotional, but that's not for everyone, I don't think. I think some of you are actually really going through this, almost like dancing, because you now are finally going on that journey, finally doing, going through that transformation, that growth. Getting these revelations and insights, following your inner calling especially. So I think for many of you it's actually going to be joyful, although it's going to be deep. It's really going to be deep. And then with the King of Arrows, this speaks of having clarity to get you through chaos. Also, that clarity also helps you to see what doesn't serve you anymore, what holds you back, what you can let go of and should let go of. And again, can be situations, can also be people. So this clarity, you will get that. And yeah, as logical, if you go through a deep process, some growth, serious inner growth like this, then likely you will need to let go of certain things in your life that just simply do not match, do not resonate with that soul calling. But you will have the clarity, and also I'm feeling, how would you translate that? You also are okay with that. You're going to be okay with that. That you have to, you're going to have to let go of certain things in your life that don't serve you anymore. You're going to be okay with that. I don't feel that it's going to be like, oh my God, and I'm never gonna, you know, it feels good. It feels light. It's going to feel like a relief. Because you want this, you really want this. So for you, I do feel this is going to be quite a beautiful process. And then we have a card of what aspect is going to be especially highlighted for you to let go, heal, whatever, work on. And this came out twice. The first time I thought, okay, I wasn't properly focused yet. And no, I picked up the deck. The Dark Goddess card, or the deck. And this was left on the table. This, you know, and this was at the bottom, and it was still on the table when I picked up the deck. So I looked at it and I thought, would that be the card for you? And I thought, okay, I'm going to put it back in the deck. If it needs to come out, it will. And it did. It flew out. It's like, wow. So this is really your message. This is Pythia, the Oracle of Delphi. And this is about knowledge. You have an awful lot of knowledge and wisdom. You've been studying and learning and growing, and for years and years on end. That's what I also said with these other cards. You know, this was long overdue. You were really ready for this, so ready. Right? And you do have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and you've worked really hard on that. With joy. It was just growth, a lot of growth. But this card does warn you to make sure that you follow your own intuition, and that you be very mindful of the people that you, teachers, so to speak, that you get your information from, that you get your knowledge and wisdom from, because some might not be really pure. And I do get now suddenly that some might not be as far as you actually are. And that can happen, that sometimes we just don't even see that we look up to certain people and then don't even see that we have basically outgrown them. Maybe they are an expert in another area, but then they are not really nourishing you anymore, not adding to you anymore. So you have to be very mindful of that. That's a message of this card. And it's better to get your information directly from source. So get connected with source and follow your own intuition as well. Also, when you listen to other people, your inner knowing will tell you if they are giving you the right information that is pure, that is actually really, truly wise or not. That's the message. And this card came out twice, so this is likely going to be very important. Right? So don't be swayed too easily, or just be careful whom you listen to. And then how can you make that easier from the, what's the deck called? Keepers of the Light. I've forgotten what it's called. And then we have Lady Venus, and this confirms Pythia, the Delphi of Oracle. Delphi of Oracle. Oracle Temple of Delphi. Oh my God, where is my brain? Because it says downloads and understanding, truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. From heaven and the astral realm. Not from other people who are likely talking out of their rectum and trying to convey, or pretending to be experts or whatever. This this basically to me confirms what I just said with the Pythia card, with this card. You know, get your information from reliable sources. Use your intuition so you know if a source is reliable, and get your information and your wisdom and etc. from source, directly from source, from spirit, or whatever you call it. That is your reading for the numbers 1. I do hope it resonates with you. I would like to hear that in the feedback. Because I like that, you know, it's just for me good to hear that it's actually helping you and that I'm hitting the mark, so to speak. Then I'm gonna have a very, very short break, and then I'm gonna I need a drink, and then I'm continuing with numbers 2. Yep, and we're back. Moving on, numbers 2, the ones who chose this little Buddha. I hope you don't mind my readings per set of being long. You know, I suppose some people prefer a 3-minute reading, and I never. Yeah, that's just not me. It's just really not me. And then I get stressed out by that as well. I prefer to just, you know, be relaxed, and I hope you can feel that too. And yeah, again, it's just not me. I can't help it. And I'm being me, so righty, 4 cards again for you as well from the Wildwood Tarot. First we have, what is it called? Rest, this card. Then we have Respect, the 9 of Bows, the Queen of Vessels, is the Salmon, and the Queen of Wands. 2 queens. That's interesting. What I feel it is, in a way, you are going through some transformation of some sort of transformation with this, with the butterfly. That's a monarch butterfly, isn't it? I always love these butterflies. I haven't ever seen them for real, but even as a kid, I used to love those when I saw them in books at school. You're going through some sort of transformation, and maybe at some regularly you get these outbursts of. I feel anger, a bit of anger. So then you basically get up, and then in a way, as if you're angry that you're still in this situation, because you get out of it, you get angry, you get upset, and maybe you're irate, but then you go back here into this, not doing anything, just laying there, just plunk, don't know what to do. And I'm trying to find out, trying to translate that, what I feel. Like really, really quite irrational in that anger. Maybe even blaming other people, maybe blaming yourself, blaming situations that things are not working out or whatever. It's not really a rational, valid anger, so to speak. Valid is not really the right word, but okay. But you keep stuck in here. What I really feel is just snap the bleep out of it. Snap out of it. You know, you have to get off your ass and start doing things, and you want to, but in a way you're not doing it. In a way you're not doing it. And but it's time, because you have a calling. There is something you want, something you long for, as if you don't know how to get there, how to do it, and that's why you're stuck here. And that leads to frustration, because you feel this calling. Well, you're not doing anything because you remain. I'm getting goosebumps all over now. This is also my set, okay? but you're not doing anything. You want this so much. You feel this. You really, really feel this, and you want it so much. And yet you are staying here, not doing anything, not taking action, just staying stuck in your ego, in fears and in doubts and insecurities, likely, whatever that keeps you stuck here. That's what causes that frustration that makes you, that's it, lash out sometimes. It can also be that you have bursts of energy in between where you do stuff, but then you do still go back here. You're not really you don't continue on that path. You make the first step, maybe a few steps, but then you go back. And then you step out again, and then you go back again. And that's it. But you have to just follow through. And that's going to cost energy. Yeah, and that might scare you. Because like the salmon, they swim upstream, right? They go back to the place where they were born to give birth, to lay their eggs. And that's the calling you feel, to go back to your roots, to where you belong, to where you came from. Not necessarily literally, but it's that calling that you're having on the inside, that soul calling, to go back to your roots, whatever that is. And you have to really follow through. Use this energy that you get from that, all that frustration from wanting to go there and not doing it. You can use that energy to really push ahead. So this disappears. And then you get there. And that, like I said, that is going to cost you energy, because you have to, at least you think you will have to swim upstream and everything is working against you maybe, and oh my god, and maybe you're thinking there's going to be an awful lot of obstacles, but it does lead to your calling, to what you actually really want, and what is going to make you more happy. Getting there, and then eventually also getting to being this Queen of Wands, in this deck called the Queen of Bows, the hare, which is all about fertility, prosperity, things really working out, inspiration, and action as well. Wands is about action, doing things, achieving things, being happy. I mean, look at her, she's empowered. Do you want to go there, or do you want to stay here? Why the hell are you staying there? I'm asking myself as well now, because I also drew this deck. And I do know, because I do work on self, I do work on personal growth all the time, and I am busy with this shit. So I do know, but do you? Right? And this is stuff that's going to be addressed during this solar eclipse that's going to come up. It's probably been going on for quite some time, because I do feel you have been here for quite some time. So this will be highlighted, and with the other cards, which aspect is going to be highlighted, especially during this solar eclipse. We have this card from the Dark Goddess Oracle, and that's Aradia, which is the Queen.